good.
I'm good.
You guys ready?
Yep.
How'd your first couple of weeks practice?
It's gone well, Ben. I've really been real pleased with the way our guys have come back in shape. You can tell that they can see kind of that starting point. February 17th is coming, and there's been a lot of energy and excitement out here for the last 2 weeks, and hopefully we can continue to do that and not really get focused in on, 17th. But like I tell them every time, let's make each day count, and at the end of the week, let's make sure we have a great week of practice. So it's been really good. Yesterday we went inside for the first time and kind of in a different element. And I thought it was good because we accomplished some things, I thought, especially with our bunt coverages in first and thirds.
What do you see the identity of this team being early on? I mean, I know it's early.
I think that's something for me as a new coach. I think we're going to have to feel our way through that a little bit. When you bring in a new system, I think it takes players, you can do it in practice, but when, there's 5,000 or 6,000 people here and the lights come on, it's a little different. So I think, hopefully they'll play aggressively like we've been doing in practice, because if we do that, we're going to have a lot of fun. So hopefully I think it's going to take some time as a new coach and a new player come together. I think it will take a little time before everybody gets comfortable. So that's one good thing about playing 20 games at home, is that you're not, out of your comfort zone, and I think that's going to help us hopefully.
How much do you expect this first month or two of it, before you get in SEC play? You will be still learning more about the team, figure out who's going to be where, maybe multiple different lineups in that time. How much do you think that's going to be a part of it?
I think it's going to make a big difference for us. I think just kind of like last year at Louisiana Tech, I knew if we could, not get buried early and gain confidence, I thought with all those guys being new, I thought we would have a shot, and we did. And I think this is the same way with these guys. I think if we can, get comfortable early and not get buried so much as far as wins and losses and get our confidence down, I think this team, as we go through this, I think we'll be better and better as the year goes along, which we need to be. To me, our strength of our schedule is those last 4 or 5 weeks.
How important is the returning pitchers on the staff, given that you're kind of teaching a different style of hitting this year? It seems like you're obviously playing a little bit more small ball like you said before. So how much are you going to depend on the pitchers to kind of hold their own while the rest of the offense kind of develops?
Well, I told Coach Rooney that, every time he calls a shutout, we'll win. So that's how much important we are. But no, it to me is we got some good quality starters, and hopefully, again, we can get a quality, for our offense especially, to try not to give up runs early so we can play with some confidence, a little bit more looseness. I think that's going to be huge for us. If we can put some zeros up early on Friday and Saturday, I think what you'll see is our guys be more confident as the game goes along.
I'm sure not every position is settled, but this far along, you have an idea of who some of the guys that are going to be in there are going to be?
I do, and every night when I go home, I try to put a lineup together, and I tell our players that all the time. Like, I've probably got, probably 100 or so lineups that I've done over the last few weeks, and I think as a head coach, I think that's one of my biggest decisions is trying to find those right fit, who's going to lead off and who's going to hit third. And I think we really don't have any of those answers until we kind of go through those first few weeks and really settle in on the lineup. I think you'll see a variety of different lineups early and kind of just see, how it plays itself out.
When you were hired, you said that you wanted to take an aggressive approach with the team. Now that was before you really knew the personnel as well as you know now. Do you still feel like that's a game plan moving forward? You want to be aggressive on the base paths, offensively? I do.
I think, man, we got some really good athletic kids here in our program. So I think the biggest thing is for me to try to eliminate that doubt and fear of the game and just let our guys play with confidence, And I think as a head coach and our assistant coaches, I think over this next week is really try to prepare those guys and build their confidence up and get them ready to play. I think if we can go out and play with some confidence, I think our guys are going to have a really great start.
You mentioned the opening days kind of sneaking up on you. Is there any nerves as a first-year coach? Just what's your mindset like?
Very much so. It's been, as it's getting closer, the time seems like it's going by real fast. And so, I just try to make sure that we're laying a good foundation for our team and our practices. But the 17th is definitely going to be I think for all of us, first-year coach and players and so forth. So I think it's definitely going to be a time where hopefully we can get the nerves out and start playing the way we can.
What have you learned from the team, from fall to spring and getting back into it? Is there something, that kind of maybe surprised you when you got back these last few weeks or, opened your eyes a little bit?
The biggest thing I think that we're really good up the middle. That to me, that's kind of where it starts. But with Avent, he's such a solid shortstop, and Kobe is such a solid second baseman, and up the middle with Gene Woods, a really good defensive center fielder, and then behind the plate with the guys that we have. You know, that's probably been the biggest surprise is that, you know, for me, as we recruit and as we build this thing, we want to start from the middle and work out. And I think our middle is going to be really solid. If we can get our pitchers to throw it a down angle and get a lot of ground balls, I think we're going to have a really good year.
What would you say to the fans in terms of what sort of baseball they're going to see coming out? You know, a lot of the coaches, you know, when you're starting out, you want to maybe sell a certain storyline with the fans, or not storyline, but something along those lines. What would you say to them?
I think if you identified our system, I think a lot like the Kansas City Royals, you saw them 2 years ago win the World Series. I think you'll see that type of mentality. Really, you know, aggressive on the bases. We can't miss dirt balls. You know, we got to be able to go first to third on those questionable hustle doubles. And I think that's what you're going to see from our standpoint, and which is, as fans, the biggest thing for me is getting on base and creating that offense. And for hopefully our fans, they'll love to see that excitement. You know, we're not going to sit here and play for a 3-run inning, you know, by home run. You know, we're going to try to generate some offense and put pressure on people. And I think, you know, if we get it rolling, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I can tell you that. It's going to be fun to see our guys bounce around here with a lot of energy. And I can't wait to unleash them here come February 17th.
How has that offensive transition been? Because obviously last few years they have been swinging for the fences. They have been trying to get that big 3 or 4 run inning and kind of make their moment. And that's not the way you're building this team. So
right.
How have some of the players like Chandler and some of the thumpers dealt with kind of the change in philosophy? Well,
you know, I told them just this week, you know, the biggest thing for us is to get people on base. You know, Chandler should have 100 RBIs. You know, we should have some guys with that. Well, you can't get RBIs if the guys aren't on base. And so, you know, we try to identify our roles. And I think what you'll see is that if we can get guys on base and we create pressure for the pitcher, we start getting fastballs that are elevated. And our motto is if we get them elevated, we elevate, we celebrate. And so that's kind of the mentality we're trying to get with Chandler. Some of those guys is we got to buy in to getting on base any way we can, so you have a chance to drive some runs in. And I think those guys did a good job. You know, I mean, you know, anytime you have some power guys, they're going to punch out some. But if we can make an adjustment and switch gears, you know, guys, if you saw, you know, some things before, I mean, the situational hitting and all those, I think, can create runs when you're facing really good arms. And this offense is based on scoring no matter where we are, whether it's a big park or a small park. I mean, you know, SEC tournaments in Hoover, it's a graveyard up there. I mean, it's a big park. Here's a smaller park, but I want to try to create an offense that has a chance to score every day with a run game, with some pressure, with some guys, in the, you know, some balls that hit out. You know, so I think as an offense that we build towards Omaha, we've got to be able to score every day.
You mentioned Eichholz. Just what do you see in him so far?
He's thrown really well, but the biggest thing I've been so happy with Nick is his leadership. You know, he's came back as a senior, been here for 3 years, and really has been a great leader for our team. Very much bought into what we're doing, and has been a great pioneer for our first year, and really leading our pitching staff. And that's probably been the biggest thing. His stuff says what it is. I mean, he's got a great sinker. His slider's really tightened up. He's been able to throw the changeup now to both sides of the plate. So his pitching stuff is there. It's just, you know, him kind of stepping out of his comfort zone and being a leader, and that's what I've been really pleased with. He's been tremendous for us.
You obviously, too, bring like a different mindset off the field, too. Just how have the players adapted to that? Has there been any butting of heads or any?
You know, and I'm probably jinxing myself, but at this point we have not had any issues. You know, we hadn't had, you know, guys are late, we run them and do all those things. I have not been up at 5 all year, so I know it's been kind of out there. But the guys that bought in, they've been in going to class. You know, had the highest GPA in a long time with over 3.2 GPA. I've never had that as a coach. So I think they're buying in. You know, I think, you know, when you first come in, the transition is always kind of a shock. Like, what's this guy doing? And I think now they realize that I'm not here to hurt them. I'm here to help them. You know, I want them to leave our program equipped to be successful as they go into the real world.
And who we've obviously talked about guys we've seen before, but who's somebody that maybe fans and even heck, some of us haven't seen that maybe has surprised you in this, and we can see more of this season?
Well, you know, Brock Love is throwing real well. I know last year he threw some, but he's really come on. Him and Duarte, I feel like, are really fighting for that 3rd and 4th spot, and Brock has really took a jump. Mentally, physically, his velocity's gone up, his breaking ball's gotten better, so I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at maybe the jump he's made. John Trousdale, Logan Carey are 2 freshmen that nobody's really seen. I think has a chance to hit. They're both athletic. I think they'll get some playing time at some point. So those are guys really, I think, that are new. Kyle Kaufman, the catcher they recruited at a junior college, he's athletic. He's starting for that. He's trying to go in for that starting position. I think those three are probably three guys that you'll see probably play at some point that first weekend that maybe people hadn't seen them play yet.
Coach is a little off topic, but what's your relationship with Greg Byrne been like? Have you talked to him a lot since he's been here, since he was hired?
Well, I met him the first day of the press conference, and then we had another meeting about a week ago. Again, Coach Battle hired me. I love Coach Battle. Never tough, just like our players going through a transition this past fall. But we're really excited about Mr. Byrne and where he's going. I think he's tremendous athletic director. His track record speaks for himself. So whenever that transition happens, then we'll start that relationship. But I think when you have a guy like Coach Battle to stay around and to lean on, I think that is so important for Greg and what he's going through. So I think it's going to be an exciting time for Alabama and Alabama athletics for all sports. I really do.
Do you look at the fact that he did win a College World Series a few years ago at Arizona?
I did, and he played for a national championship last year, the first year of Coach Johnson. So I told him, hey, maybe he'll bring that luck in here to Alabama this year. So, but he's a great guy. He's a baseball. He loves baseball. He's been, at some other schools in the SEC that have did real well in baseball. So I think he's got a great handle. Just by talking with him, a really great handle on college baseball and equivalencies and state lotteries and all those things. I think it's going to be a big help for us.
Anything else?
Appreciate it.
Hey, man.